Android users, you can now have TYT in the palm of your hand. Our TYT app is available for download in the Google Play Store. Just go to tyt.com/app to find out more.
Something that was abundantly clear through Emma Vigeland's reporting at Donald Trump's rally in Florida was that a lot of his supporters take him on his word. They do not question what he has to say, and they just have this loyalty toward him that seems unbreakable. And so I want to show you a few examples of that. Again, this is Emma Vigeland speaking to Trump supporters at Ron DeSantis's rally in Florida. Let's take a look at the first video.
For his border policy, do you think he's been too tough, not tough enough?
Not tough enough. I love what Trump's doing with our government. And I keep hearing all these darn liberals crying the blues about how Trump has an attitude and he speaks his mind. I'll tell you what, that is one thing I really respect about Trump. He speaks his mind. He says what's on his mind. And we're in his best interest when he does.
I wonder what he means by we. I also wonder what he means by that apostrophe.
Yeah, that. I mean, okay.
Look, but no, look, that guy, in all seriousness, is unfortunately like the prototypical example of the guy who feels his power slipping away from him. We used to be in charge. Now these guys are coming in, and now I don't get to have the privileged position that I used to. And not that guy was born in privilege. He doesn't look like he was born in privilege, but he was just a little higher on the rung.
No, but I think, look, I don't even know if that's the issue. I think what the issue is, you have an economic system, like people are frustrated and angry, and I get that, right? And so you have some people in America who are frustrated and angry and they want to get to the root of the problem. They don't just take a politician's word as the truth. You know, they want to know, why is the economy so bad? Why am I at a disadvantage? Why is it that the wealthiest people get these massive tax cuts and I can't find a decent, well-paying job? Why can't I make a living wage? So his frustration is obvious, and I think it's justified. But the thing that sucks is you have bad actors who take advantage of it and they exploit it to their own advantage. And that's exactly what Trump did. And the thing is, the pro-Trump propaganda is so effective that guy still thinks the real enemy is the liberals, the others, anyone other than the people in charge who are screwing with him and essentially rigging the system against him.
Which Muslim took your job? Which Muslim is threatening you in the middle of Florida? Okay, the right wing does this. They say, okay, you know who the real problem is? They do one of two things. One is people underneath you. Oh my God, the guy who just crossed the border without $1 in his pocket, he's the all-powerful immigrant that's taking your jobs and taking everything you have, right? Which is unbelievably ridiculous, but they believe it. And the second thing they do is the conspiracy theories we're going to talk about later in the show with the Q says that it's the Rothschilds and the Illuminati, and some of that is the not so subtle reference to Jews, right? It's the others. It's either the guys at the top who are the bankers from the 1700s, right? Or it's the guy who has no power at all. What does the left say? We agree you got screwed, but we think it's because of perfectly normal economic and political forces at play. For example, when you privatize the financing of elections, our politicians serve private interests. And it's not because they're evil, it's because that's who signs their checks. So corporations and billionaires say, hey, I will donate millions of dollars to a politician. Can you lower my tax cuts? And lo and behold, the guy who got all that money and won because he had all that money lowers their tax cuts. That's a fairly simple explanation, and we try to break down what is a healthcare system, et cetera. Maybe it's too smart, maybe it's too true, because that guy's like, well, yeah, Muslims, immigrants, right? And it's easier to animate people with patently false, ridiculous things that rises their emotions, the fear, the hatred.
Definitely a lot of that going on.
Right.
So we have more. Let's take a look at the next video.
Muslims come over to Islam comes to our country because they want to take us over and they want to kill Americans. They're liberals. And the liberals, what they just don't like America. They're against America. And as far as I'm concerned, they can all go to heck, you know? I mean, this is our country. I love our country. And for the first time in I don't know how many decades, we have a president that is in our White House that actually gives a damn about our country. And we should all be standing for him and backing him up and giving him 100% of our support.
By the way, yes, we did notice the guy in the background with the poster. Yeah. No, he has nothing to do with us, but that's another brave soul that showed up at that rally. Again, I guess he saw a camera, wanted it back, but to be in the background. But now to this guy's point, look, you think liberals hate America? No, we love liberty and justice for all. We want America to live up to its ideals. We believe in the rule of law. Whereas you turn around and go, the FBI, law enforcement, no. Trump's above the law. Don't apply any of the law to him. And I can go on and on. Fourth Amendment, First Amendment, all the things that we fight for. Due process, treat every citizen equally. Those are liberal positions. By the way, the founding fathers were liberals, radicals who did a revolution against the conservative establishment. I know that'll blow your mind, but that's our flag. And we don't hate it. In your actions in supporting that authoritarian leader and in all the different violations of the Constitution he's done, what you don't realize is that you're actually arguing against America. And you should take that hat off.
So I also want to address the very first part of that video where he talks about Muslims coming into the country, coming into the United States to kill Americans. So look, there was, and it seems as though it's died down quite a bit, luckily, a huge issue of ISIS carrying out horrible acts of terrorism in European countries. And that was genuinely a concern that people in America had, people in these European countries had. And so that's something that was taken seriously. And luckily, it seems as though the war on ISIS has been successful and is ongoing. Now, put that aside, though, and talk about what the United States has done. Because what he is alleging that Muslims have done to Americans is exactly what the US government has done in Muslim majority countries, all to make our weapons manufacturers and private military contractors stupendously wealthy, right? And I'm not talking about going after ISIS fighters. I'm talking about drone strikes that have taken out entire civilian families at weddings. I'm talking about people mourning the loss of those family members and then also being met with drone strikes. Those are real things that have happened abroad, right? So it's projection by the right-wing government. That is what we do in Muslim majority countries.
And by the way, Republican presidents have done it and Democratic presidents have done it.
Yes.
And we are honest and fair about that coverage. Lastly on this, look, have there been Muslim attacks inside America and including Florida? Yes. But if you were really concerned about your safety, you'd be concerned about the great majority of attacks in America, which are by white right-wing radicals. So that's an absolute fact. That is a fact that the government puts out, including, yes, the Trump administration. The majority of attacks since 2001 have been by right-wing terrorists in this country. So, but you never hear that propaganda. So he thinks, oh my God, it's the Muslims coming in. You are far more likely to be shot by a fellow right-winger. And in fact, when you just put aside terrorism and you talk, but that's about terrorism, what I just told you. But if you get past that and you hear about what your chance of actually getting shot are you kidding me? So 9/11 was a disaster, an epic failure, not just by the administration, but for this country. And we lost nearly 3,000 people. Every year we lose 30,000 people to gun violence. 10 9/11s every single year. But I bet you that if you ask that guy, oh, guns are awesome, what I really have to worry about is a Muslim I never ever met.
All right, we have more, so let's take a look.
It's great that he supports Ron DeSantis. If he thinks he's good, then he must be good. He's right with everything else.
Are you willing to take his word for it? Whoever Trump says to vote for, you vote for.
I do. Anything he says, everything he says is true. It comes true.
Yeah, so I wanted to clarify something. Obviously, that video was not by Emma Vigeland. That was an MSNBC video. But the reason why I wanted to share that with you is because it gives you yet another example of this amazing loyalty that people have for him, regardless of how his policies have negatively impacted them. And I'll give you an example of a policy. These tax cuts. I don't know, maybe she's a multimillionaire, maybe she's a billionaire, I have no idea. But I'm guessing that it's unlikely And if it is unlikely, she did not benefit from those tax cuts. In fact, it will hurt her quite a bit. It's going to defund all sorts of programs that I think people take for granted. And I'm not talking about welfare programs. I'm talking about all the different things that the government funds, including Social Security and Medicare, which is something that the GOP is now really aggressively looking to cut in order to make up for lost revenue.
So we talked about this earlier in the live show, and of course live shows every day at 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern, tyt.com/live to watch it every day. And I looked at an article that explained brainwashing, and so that's, I think, what's happened to these folks in a sense, on a macro sense. So, and one of the things that drives it is isolation. They've been isolated in social media to only like-minded people, and on Fox News to like-minded hosts. And what they hear all the time is that Trump is great and everything he's ever done is a brilliant success. They never hear the downsides. Not just criticism, but the actual facts. Hey, did you know the top 1% got $61,000 tax cut every year? They get $61,000 extra every year. That's what the tax cut was for. By the way, share our videos, share them with your family, friends, anybody who doesn't normally get that information. You got maybe $1.50 in your check. They get $61,000 every single year. And they're the donors. Of course the donors got exactly what they wanted. But she believes that Trump is right about everything. The second thing that apparently works in brainwashing is endless repetition.
Yeah.
And that's why Trump, like a maniac, constantly repeats things. No collusion, hoax.
Fake news, fake news.
I'm the best, I have the best words, I have the best words. I'm like a smart person, And then these people come out and go, he's like a smart person. Because they almost literally got brainwashed into it. So in fact, I wanna go to the person, I wanna go to video 14 here, because I mean, if ever there was a good example of that. Now we're back to Emma Vigeland for Rebel headquarters as part of the TYT network covering the same rally. Watch.
I think they did that, the Manafort and all that stuff. I think the only reason why they did that is to keep their jobs, because he would have probably got rid of all of them. Once everything started going on, he probably would have pinned them, the FBI and all them. Got rid
Who would have gotten rid of their jobs?
The FBI and all those agents, and Manafort and all those other people that are trying to pin stuff on Trump, like he's colluding with Russia. Nothing's going on with Russia. We evidently know that. It's already kind of been proven. What is it, 20 months, Tom? 24 months?
What about the 12 indictments with the Russians and the meeting with Donald Trump Jr.? You don't buy that?
It's just a meeting. Just like me and you sitting down and having a beer and talking and getting to know each other. He doesn't know, he knows a lot of people in this world. He's been around a long time more than anybody that's in Congress or anywhere. He dealt with the whole world. He deals with everything. He's been doing it for years. Probably one of the smartest men out there.
Probably.
Why?
Probably the smartest man out there. He's dealt with everything. And there's actually been 32 people who've either been indicted or already pleaded guilty. But he says, no, 24 months and nothing happened. How about the 32 cases? No, nothing happened. How about the 4 Trump officials who've already said that they were guilty? No, nothing happened. Okay, why? Trump is the greatest. How do I know? He told me.
He's been around a long time, longer than a lot of people in Congress. So he's really smart.
Well, I guess by that standard, he can't wait to vote for Bernie Sanders, who's been around longer. Okay, all right, well, look, we try to find and deliver to you guys the mind of a Trump voter. That is at least partly the minds of Trump voters. But check out all of it. It's on Rebel HQ. That's our channel, TYT Politics. We changed the name to Rebel Headquarters. You can find it on YouTube, Facebook, but mainly on our app. It's super easy to find along with the rest of our shows, tyt.com/app to get that, to get all the videos and watch the Trump supporters for yourself and make up your own mind on it. And of course, you can get all of our shows if you're a member of the Young Turks, tyt.com/join to become a member. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.